For OVT, you keep on experimenting. We'll do that together. Over.
Roger. I worked a guy in Binghamton, New York, years and years and years ago. For on 6 meters. I was on 6 meters a month. He had a saying that I'll never forget. He said, in ham radio, or anything for that matter, improve, improve, improve. That's what he told me a long time ago. Okay, 7-3, Mark, thanks for the report there. This is K1TSW. QSY.
Yeah, well, that's good words to live by. You know, amateur radio, a lot of people love to toss the word hobby around. Hobby does not appear in Part 97. What does appear, which can obviously be construed as a hobby, is system experimentation and optimization. That's in fact, that led to an interesting ruling recently. There was a petition put before the FCC about bandwidth, and there was a group of hams that were complaining that people were too wide on their transmitted signal. And then there was a group of hams who said, too bad, you know, we like to run full high fidelity audio and make our audio sound good, makes us feel good about ourselves. And to accomplish that, using analog radios, that can involve 5 kcs or more. And with the newer SDR radios, especially the Apache Lab, the Anons, with the pre-distortion pure signal, it's incredible how great they sound with very sharp cutoff, where they don't take up very much bandwidth. That's the holy grail of nice sounding audio and not being a bad neighbor on the bands. But anyway, it was interesting. The decision by the FCC was that they were not going to invoke any bandwidth restrictions that the petitioners were seeking, and the justification that they pointed to was those words I just mentioned, system experimentation. And they thought that in their dissent that the running wide audio was in the spirit, right in the space of doing experimentation. So I don't know, I don't come down on either side of that argument hard and fast. I see both points. I just know personally I run 3 kc or less, unless provoked. I was talking about that earlier. I can go elbows high if I need to, but I hate to admit that. Especially having once been a volunteer monitor, I shouldn't admit to things like that. So anyway. And by the way, as a VM, we were not instructed to submit recordings for anyone that was transmitting a wide bandwidth. People who had their bandwidth spilling over the band edge where the privileges didn't exist or the band plan ended. That's where you got to be careful. Like if you're on 20 meters and you're at 14, 348 or 49, well, your upper sideband's probably spilling over 50, and that was report worthy. Similar lower sideband on 40. If you're down at 7, if you're extra class 7126, you're probably splattering below the band plan. So, well, for a sideband anyway. But yeah, I realized what a joke that whole program was and a waste of my time, so I pulled the parachute on the volunteer monitor program. It is a facade run by a charlatan. All right, Kilo Oscar 4 Tango. No, you are Kilo 1 Tango Sierra Whiskey W4 OVT. Take it easy, Tom.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I just keep a 2.8 this way. That's about it there. Years ago, there was a guy that had a flex radio. Didn't know how to work it. He was doing 6 KTY. This is years ago. I think he first got the radio. He didn't really know the controls on it very well, but it was 6 KTY. And we all heard that. Somebody jumped back on him and told him he was too wide. I think he corrected the problem. That was years ago there. So, okay, 7-3, and thanks for the check. You went up to 25 over. 25 over. Yeah, you moved another 5. So, excellent signal over there. And your audio is perfect. Your audio is perfect right where you have it. There. You don't need to go plus or minus anything. You're right there. So fine business on everything, Mark. And again, thanks for the radio check there. W4OVT, Greensboro, North Carolina. This is K1CSW in Walton, Southern New Jersey. Thank you very much, Mark, and have a good one.
All right, well, you're very welcome. Always a pleasure. And 7-3, Tom. Okay, Whiskey 4, Oscar Victor Tango, W4 OVT, North Carolina. Name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie QRZ.
W4JPD in Waxhaw.
Hi, there's my buddy Peter. Peter, you are hearing energy from that fine AL80B. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I thought you got your RF kit.
No, I think the customs folks over in Memphis at FedEx have fallen in love with the amplifier. They won't let go of it.
Oh my gosh. Well, is it stateside?
Oh yeah, I ordered it. Let's see, almost 4 weeks to the day. It was stateside, so they've got their lead time down to a month now, and it was showing delivery on Monday, and then it's got a direct signature required on it. So I was tethered here to the QTH, waiting and it never came. Then it went into a delayed tracking where it's still sitting. I talked to them today because they told me that it cleared customs over the weekend. And then this knothead told me that, well, we had a weather exception, fog. And I'm like, no, you didn't. So try again. Yes, we did. No, you didn't. I'm looking at it every hour from both the National Weather Service and other stations. You have 10 miles of visibility, which is maximum. So let's move on to what the real issue is. Well, I think it'll probably be there tomorrow. Probably, what do you, you got a crystal ball or something, or a Ouija board? Or, I'm going to tell you, this has not been a pretty picture, learning about the state of tracking within FedEx. It is, well, let's see, I'll use a good southern word. It's cattywampus. Have you ever heard the word cattywampus, over?
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you mean there, Mark. And there's nothing more frustrating than you're excited, you want to see it, and you got your nose pushed to the window pane. Oh my gosh! Well, I hope you get it soon. I know you're excited to get it. But anyway, I just came up from 75 meters and was tuning across the band before I went to bed and heard your good signal, so I had to call in and see how you were doing. Excuse me. But anyway, hope all is well, and I'm glad the AL80B is working out for you. So I'm not going to hang in here, Mark, past my bedtime, but I did want to say hi, and again, it was great to meet you. I enjoyed it, and Also, you're a great dog. I know Rachel and my daughter-in-law. They thought that was a wonderful dog you've got there. Anyway, back to you. W4 Oscar Victor Tango from W4JPD.
Yeah, he's right here at my feet. In fact, he just stood up. He's been taking a nice nap. So it was a pleasure to meet Rachel, and I believe, let's see, your ex-YL is Kathleen, is that right?
No, Rachel is her name, and the stepdaughter is Julie.
Oh, okay, all right, gotcha. All right, well, it was a pleasure to meet them, and what a beautiful home that you have there. As I was growing wide eyeballs at all of the growth and development from my good old days of pedaling a bicycle, never really thinking about any issues with traffic and density, but boy, I don't think I would do any of those rides anymore. Well, again, the back surgeries kind of took care of that, so I traded handlebars for hamburgers, I'm afraid. All right, Whiskey 4 Juliet Papa Delta there in Waxhaw, North Carolina, historic Waxhaw. Nice to hear from you. Thanks for the shout. 7-3, Peter.
All right, Mark. Great to hear you, and we'll catch you again. W4JPD.
All right. Yeah, the app's done very, very well, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it when the RF kit gets here. The Centurion Tentec amp is undergoing some open heart surgery. I think confidence is high that I'm going to get that back here. So, I'll have maybe Duke Energy can pay me to be a power substation. Yeah. Good luck on that. All right, that's W4JAPD does. Okay, W4OVT, Whiskey 4 Oscar Victor Tango. Name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie in North Carolina. QRZ.
Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie India KQ4CI. Do you read?
Oh, let's see. I think I heard Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie India. Is that Evan in Frisco, North Carolina, QSL?
Roger. This is KQ4CI, Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie India. Testing a new setup here, and actually, I am now at Station 46, Avon, North Carolina. You looked up the home QTH, over.
Avon. Okay, very good. And, all right. Well, you're doing great. That's a new call sign, and you're already up. How can you... How can you be in advanced class with a new... maybe you let your license lapse. I don't know. That's got my mind going, but anyway, congratulations on getting to advanced. I remember passing my advanced exam, far more difficult than the extra theory back in the day. But of course, to get extra, you had to break your back with a 20-word a minute. So what's the story on Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie India call there, over?
Roger that. Yes, I got that call when I got my advanced ticket. That was like in 92, and you are correct. It did not lapse, but there was like a month lag in getting it renewed. There was just a mess up with Uncle Charlie, and it was interesting because I used one of the, I forget what you call it, there was an organization that would do the filing and all of that, and what happened is they used their FRN, not mine. But anyway, my originally call was KD4HRY. I upgraded to advanced and plateaued there at the coast. Otherwise, I would have got the extra. And here it is. And this is KQ4CI, Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie India, Station 46, Avon, North Carolina. And if you could come back with your call again, please, and your location, over.
Yeah, I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina, here, and your report is 20 over. Nice, strong signal, audio clear and strong as well. to put you in the log. So my call is a vanity call. It's a call for the Southern Campaign of the American Revolution. Whiskey 4 Oscar Victor Tango, and the OVT stands for a group of the Patriot Militia that went and fought and looked up on the British at the Battle of Kings Mountain, and they were called Over Mountain Men, and they traveled a trail on their way to victory. So the Over Mountain Victory Trail, that's the derivative of Whiskey 4 Oscar Victor Tango. QSL?
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'm glad to be getting that signal report. I am pissed, not running an amp or anything, and I am interested. Yeah, I'm out on Hatteras Island, so we're pretty close. So does that mean we're doing NVIS? Over?
No, I doubt that. I think there's at least a skip zone between us there, but most of the NVIS is 50 miles or less, or depends on what band, or less than 100 miles, and because that's a cloud warmer, antenna or signal. That's going straight up and kind of spreads out a little on its journey there, but no, I would think there's a skip zone or two probably between us there. You're way out on the East Coast. I'm back here in the north central part of the state, not too far from the Virginia line. QSL?
Roger. W4VT from KQ4CI. So yeah, that's interesting. So we're pretty close and we can work it. That's a neat thing. And the band conditions seem pretty good, and I'm surprised our antenna actually runs under a power line, and I didn't even want to try this, and weirdly enough, we're not getting that much noise on it. Over.
Yeah, well, just depends on how well the power company buttons up all that infrastructure, especially the transformers. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're not having any interference. Okay, well, you enjoy your stay out there. It's not quite as hot as it was. My oldest daughter, she lives out in Washington State. They were vacationing for a week in Duck, and pretty much searching for anywhere that had air conditioning. It was really, really hot. But it sure is pretty out there. Okie dokie, let's see, Kilo Quebec 4, Charlie, India, Evan, I got you in the log, it's W4OVT 73.
W4OVT KQ4CI, I'm curious where you saw that information. If I look it up on AWRL.net, it doesn't say anything about that, so I'm curious, you were asking if it's a new call, so... Oh, by the way, the name's Evan. What's your name?
Name here is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie, and I just looked at the Kilo Oscar 4s. Those were the new those were the new licenses issued by the FCC for the technician class in the 2000 to 2022. And then last year, they ran out of those combinations, so they went to the Kilo Quebec calls. So when I saw your Kilo Quebec call, then I went to the FCC record, thinking and preparing to congratulate you on upgrading to general front technician, because that is a new call sign. And then when I saw your advanced, I was like, that's interesting. And then I see the Kilo Delta 4 Hotel Romeo Yankee is your previous call. And that one makes sense to me, because you've got an advanced license and you got a new call sign. That is unusual. Over?
Well, no, I've had this sign since 92, and also, wouldn't the new calls be a 2x3, not a 2x2, or?
Well, yeah, you got a point there. So I was distracted by the Kilo Quebec 4.